Creative gardening ideas to decorate your new home with colorful flowers. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine stepping into a home where the very first impression is not only defined by the strength of its architecture, but also by the vivid charm of nature itself. Picture a place where vibrant flowers welcome you at every corner. Soft greenery embraces the structure, and each space has been thoughtfully designed to combine elegance, comfort, and modern vision. This is not just gardening. It is the art of blending lifestyle and architecture, a celebration of harmony that transforms a house into a living sanctuary. In the modern world, architecture and garden design are no longer treated as separate. They have merged into a unified vision, creating a seamless environment that reflects identity, values, and daily experience. When we talk about decorating a new home with colorful flowers, we are also talking about a philosophy of living design, where home and garden are a continuous dialogue of beauty, practicality, and emotional depth. Colorful flowers play a profound role in this story. They are not merely decoration, but design instruments that shape the emotional atmosphere of a home. Architecture sets the stage, while flowers provide life, rhythm, and softness. They bring a dynamic quality to walls, paths, and outdoor corners. The strategic use of flowers defines entrances, creates focal points, and even balances the hard lines of modern construction. Think of bright red geraniums guiding you to the doorway, calming lavender hedging a pathway, or cheerful marigolds highlighting a patio space. These are as intentional as the choice of flooring, paint, or furniture. One of the strongest trends in home design today is the integration of natural and built environments. Biophilic design, minimalist outdoor spaces, and sustainable gardening all point toward a lifestyle that values connection with nature. Biophilic architecture, in particular, emphasizes strong relationships between people and natural elements, using indoor plants, vertical flower walls, and inner courtyards. Minimalist gardens rely on a few carefully selected blooms in precise arrangements, highlighting balance and elegance instead of excess. Meanwhile, sustainability has reshaped gardening culture. Native flowers, drought-resistant species, and pollinator-friendly plants are no longer optional but essential. They ensure that beauty coexists with responsibility in a world that increasingly values ecological awareness. The relationship between flowers and architecture also extends beyond form into emotion. Every style, modernist glass houses, rustic cottages, Mediterranean villas, can be elevated with floral expression. Flowers provide a seasonal rhythm. They bloom, fade, and return, reminding us of time and renewal. This impermanence softens the permanence of architecture, infusing a poetic quality into the experience of home. Nowhere is this more powerful than in entryways. The threshold of a home sets the emotional tone, and flowers have the power to define that moment. A trellis of climbing roses or jasmine frames a door with elegance and fragrance. Low flower beds of pansies or petunias bring playful bursts of color at ground level. Seasonal pots, filled with tulips in spring or chrysanthemums in autumn, turn every arrival into a celebration. These gestures may be small in execution yet monumental in impact. Urban living has also shifted the importance of smaller spaces. Balconies, patios, and compact gardens are transformed with creative floral design. Hanging baskets, trailing plants, and vertical arrangements maximize space while creating lush environments. In larger homes, patios become true outdoor living rooms when framed with hydrangeas, bougainvillea, or wisteria vines. Dining beneath a pergola wrapped in blooms is not just an activity, but an immersive design experience. Trends in floral design are also evolving with contemporary lifestyles. Monochrome flower beds, gardens arranged entirely in white, purple, or another single hue, create sophistication and visual unity, especially for minimalist homes. Pollinator gardens have grown in popularity, designed to welcome butterflies, bees, and birds, ensuring that the garden feels alive and interactive. Continuity between indoor and outdoor spaces is increasingly emphasized, with large windows framing colorful beds, or interior atriums filled with flowering plants that extend the garden into the heart of the home. Technology has entered this field as well, with automated irrigation, specialized lighting, and digital apps ensuring that even the busiest homeowner can cultivate beauty with ease. Flowers are not only design tools, but also symbols. They carry cultural meaning and spiritual resonance. Orchids are seen as emblems of refinement and luxury. Lotus flowers symbolize purity and inner growth, and roses represent timeless romance. Incorporating them into home design allows each space to carry more than aesthetic beauty. It gains narrative and cultural depth. As we step back to reflect, it becomes clear that colorful flowers in architecture are not superficial. They are essential elements that bridge nature and design, permanence and impermanence, structure and spirit. They transform houses into homes, buildings into living environments, and spaces into experiences. They serve as both the heart and the voice of architectural storytelling, infusing every corner with vitality, meaning, and emotional resonance. When designing a home that fully embraces the presence of flowers, the process begins with strategy. Just as architects plan the layout of rooms, windows, and walls, garden spaces and floral compositions also require intentional design. The success of a flower-filled home lies not in random planting, but in how each floral element aligns with the structure of the house, the rhythm of movement, and the atmosphere desired in every corner. The first principle is flow and connectivity. A home and its garden should feel like one continuous story. The pathway that leads from the street to the door should naturally guide the eye and the body through a sequence of floral experiences. Low flower beds near the entrance provide an inviting gesture. Climbing vines across pergolas offer a sense of intimacy, while flowering shrubs along the windows blur the line between indoors and outdoors. These elements are not separate features, but chapters of the same narrative. Another essential principle is layering and scale. Architects often use proportion to create harmony in buildings, and the same logic applies to floral design. Large flowering trees provide structure and height. Medium shrubs add body and texture, while smaller perennials and ground-covering flowers fill in details. This layering ensures that no single element overwhelms the others, creating balance and depth. Imagine a courtyard where a blooming magnolia tree towers gracefully above, lavender bushes frame the mid-level space, and small white alyssum fills the edges with softness. Each scale plays its role, echoing architectural balance. The color palette of flowers must also be considered with as much care as the palette of paints or interior finishes. Some homeowners choose vibrant contrasts, reds against yellows, purples against oranges, to create dramatic energy. Others prefer monochromatic schemes for elegance and serenity. White flowers, for instance, stand out beautifully against dark modern exteriors, while pastel blooms soften the look of rustic homes. Matching floral colors with architectural tones, stone, wood, or metal, creates visual unity. Beyond color, texture and form matter. A mix of delicate petals, bold blossoms, and leafy accents enhances variety and richness. Architecture often emphasizes lines and geometry, and flowers can either mirror these with structured plantings or soften them with organic, flowing shapes. A sleek modernist facade benefits from soft, cascading blooms that contrast its rigidity, while a classical home finds harmony with neatly trimmed roses and symmetrical arrangements. Flowers also shape the functionality of outdoor living spaces. A dining terrace surrounded by fragrant blossoms transforms a meal into a sensory experience. Lounging areas become more inviting when framed with colorful perennials, offering both beauty and privacy. Outdoor kitchens feel complete when herbs and edible flowers grow nearby, serving as both decoration and ingredient. Even water features such as ponds and fountains gain depth when ringed with water-loving blooms like irises or lotuses. In urban settings where outdoor space is limited, vertical gardens and container planting provide powerful solutions. Vertical walls with modular systems allow entire surfaces to burst with flowers, creating striking design statements while saving space. Containers, when carefully arranged, add flexibility. Pots of bright geraniums can be moved to catch sunlight, or seasonal flowers can be rotated to refresh the look of a balcony. These strategies ensure that even compact apartments can express beauty through color and form. Practical considerations, too, guide the design of flower-filled homes. Maintenance plays a vital role in sustaining long-term beauty. Automated irrigation systems, drip lines, and smart sensors reduce effort while ensuring health. Selecting native species and hardy perennials minimizes replacement and supports local ecology. These choices align with the broader movement towards sustainable architecture. Designs that not only look good but also respect environmental responsibility. Lighting is another dimension often overlooked. Architecture embraces lighting as both a functional and artistic element, and the same principle applies to gardens. Subtle spotlights illuminating flowering shrubs at night, or soft uplights revealing climbing vines, turn the garden into a theatrical stage after sunset. Warm lighting enhances the natural tones of flowers, while cooler lighting highlights structural plants. Together, they extend the life of the garden beyond daylight hours, creating an entirely new atmosphere for evening gatherings. Seasonality introduces another layer of design. Unlike walls and windows, flowers change with time. Designing with seasonality in mind ensures that a garden evolves gracefully throughout the year. Spring bursts with tulips, daffodils, and cherry blossoms. Summer is painted with roses, lilies, and sunflowers. Autumn offers chrysanthemums, asters, and ornamental grasses, while winter relies on evergreens and hardy winter-blooming plants. By planting seasonal waves, the home remains alive with color all year long, telling a story of change and renewal. Cultural symbolism also informs the design of floral landscapes. In Japanese-inspired homes, cherry blossoms may symbolize renewal and fleeting beauty. In Mediterranean-style houses, olive trees paired with lavender reflect heritage and tradition. In tropical villas, hibiscus and orchids express exotic vibrancy. By aligning flowers with cultural or personal meaning, gardens become not just decorative, but deeply personal spaces. As architecture moves toward greater sustainability and human-centered design, flowers are also being integrated with innovative technology. Smart gardening systems monitor soil health, adjust watering schedules, and even recommend the best flowering plants for specific microclimates. Some homes experiment with rooftop gardens filled with seasonal flowers, improving insulation and reducing urban heat. Others integrate flowers into green walls indoors, turning blank partitions into breathing canvases. These ideas reflect a future where flowers are not only about beauty, but about resilience, comfort, and intelligent design. The emotional impact of flowers cannot be overstated. Beyond aesthetics, they transform the way people feel in their homes. Bright, colorful blooms inspire energy and joy. Soft, pastel flowers evoke calmness and reflection. The scent of jasmine at night or roses at dawn creates memories and sensations that last long after the moment passes. Homes infused with floral design do not simply look different. They feel different, offering daily experiences that uplift the spirit. Ultimately, the goal of integrating flowers into home architecture is to create spaces that are both functional and poetic. Spaces where design serves the practical needs of life, but also nurtures the soul. Whether it is a modern minimalist house softened by delicate white blossoms, a rustic cottage glowing with wildflowers, or a futuristic residence with vertical flowering walls, the principle remains the same. Architecture and flowers must speak to each other, creating harmony and storytelling that enriches human life. By embracing strategy, scale, color, function, and technology, every homeowner can transform their living environment into something extraordinary. The home becomes more than a building. It becomes a landscape of emotion, memory, and meaning, defined by the timeless beauty of flowers. As we look toward the future of home and garden design, it is clear that flowers will continue to play a central role in shaping the identity of living spaces. The next wave of architectural trends emphasizes adaptability, sustainability, and emotional wellness, qualities that flowers naturally embody. The challenge and opportunity lie in weaving them into designs that not only respond to the present, but anticipate the future of how people will live. One of the defining directions in contemporary design is the rise of multifunctional outdoor spaces. Homes are no longer just shelters, they are dynamic environments for work, leisure, and community. Gardens filled with flowers are now envisioned as outdoor offices, meditation corners, or entertainment zones. A shaded pergola covered with climbing roses might serve as a serene workspace, while a terrace framed by fragrant blooms could host evening gatherings. Flowers here are not mere ornaments. They set the mood, define boundaries, and enhance functionality. Another significant trend is wellness-focused design. Architects and designers are increasingly considering the psychological and physiological effects of space. Flowers have long been known to reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and uplift mood. A bedroom balcony adorned with lavender promotes restful sleep. A bathroom garden filled with white orchids transforms a daily routine into a spa-like ritual. Living rooms that overlook colorful flower beds create natural focal points that encourage relaxation and mindfulness. In this way, flowers become part of the wellness architecture movement, supporting both physical and emotional health. The role of flowers in climate-responsive design is also gaining importance. As cities grow hotter and more crowded, green infrastructure is essential. Flowering plants on rooftops, balconies, and facades reduce heat, improve air quality, and support biodiversity. Vertical gardens with seasonal blooms double as insulation layers for buildings, reducing energy use. By incorporating flowers into these systems, homes contribute not only to personal comfort, but also to urban resilience. This approach transforms each house into a small but vital ecological actor. Designers are also experimenting with futuristic aesthetics. Imagine glass facades with built-in modular flower panels that can be rearranged seasonally. Picture smart planters that adjust water and nutrients automatically, ensuring perfect blooms year-round. Envision holographic lighting systems that project enhanced colors onto flowers at night, creating surreal atmospheres. These ideas, once speculative, are becoming reality as technology and design converge. Flowers, traditionally associated with nature and fragility, are now positioned at the intersection of innovation and imagination. At the same time, heritage and tradition remain influential. Many homeowners seek to reconnect with cultural roots through floral design. Mediterranean homes embrace lavender, rosemary, and bougainvillea as symbols of history. Asian-inspired spaces highlight cherry blossoms, lotuses, or chrysanthemums as reflections of philosophy and spirituality. Tropical villas incorporate hibiscus and frangipani as embodiments of exotic beauty. By blending modern design with traditional floral motifs, homes become spaces of both memory and progress. The future of indoor floral integration is equally promising. Conservatories and glasshouses are returning as central features of luxury homes, but with a modern twist. Rather than isolated greenhouses, they are integrated directly into the floor plan, blurring distinctions between garden and living room. Flowering atriums, skylights filled with hanging orchids, and indoor water gardens lined with lotus blooms are redefining how interiors feel. These spaces are not just decorative, they are immersive, transforming the daily experience of home into something sensorial and inspiring. Urban communities are also reimagining the collective potential of flowers. Shared courtyards, rooftop gardens, and neighborhood green belts are increasingly being designed with floral diversity in mind. Such spaces foster social interaction while enhancing environmental quality. A courtyard filled with seasonal blooms becomes not only a backdrop for gatherings, but also a symbol of shared identity and pride. In this sense, flowers move beyond private decoration into instruments of community building. As we envision the next era of design, sustainability and beauty must converge. Flowers should not be chosen only for their appearance, but also for their ecological roles. Pollinator-friendly blooms, drought-tolerant varieties, and native species will dominate future gardens. Their presence will support ecosystems, conserve resources, and ensure resilience against climate challenges. A home that blooms with such flowers tells a story of responsibility as much as aesthetics. It is also essential to recognize the emotional narrative that flowers create within architecture. A house without flowers may be structurally sound and visually impressive, but it lacks a certain soul. Flowers give character and depth. They reflect personality, and they shape memory. A child may always remember the scent of jasmine drifting through a window. A family might associate the front path with blooming marigolds in summer, and a couple may treasure the roses planted near their terrace. These intimate connections transform a house into a home, giving it layers of meaning that endure across generations. Looking ahead, the fusion of architecture and gardening will be marked by fluidity and adaptability. Spaces will evolve with time, just as flowers do with the seasons. The modern home is no longer a static structure. It is a living organism, adapting to the needs of its inhabitants and the rhythms of the natural world. Flowers, with their cycles of bloom and renewal, embody this philosophy perfectly. The home of tomorrow will likely be a canvas where technology, sustainability, and natural beauty converge. Glass walls may frame gardens designed with ecological intelligence. Rooftops may host flower-filled meadows that both delight and serve the climate. Interiors may integrate flowering plants as essential design components rather than afterthoughts. And at the heart of it all, flowers will remain timeless messengers of color, fragrance, and life. In the end, decorating a home with flowers is not simply about aesthetics. It is about crafting a holistic experience, a sanctuary that reflects identity, nurtures well-being, and harmonizes with nature. Flowers, with their unique ability to blend symbolism, functionality, and emotion, will continue to guide the evolution of architectural design. They remind us that beauty is not static but living, and that the spaces we inhabit can be as dynamic, inspiring, and resilient as the blooms that surround them.